This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so yesterday we just understood what is cloud computing and Salesforce, how it is related to cloud computing. At high level, what we need to understand, cloud computing is nothing but the internet computing, right? The pictorial representation of the internet is cloud. Everything through internet, whatever we do, such kind of process we call as cloud computing. Salesforce is one of the software company. By following the cloud computing concept, Salesforce, they are providing two services. So one of the services software as a service, and one of the other service is infrastructure as a service, as a platform as a service. So as a software as a service, they are offering CRM applications. CRM means customer relationship management. Yesterday we understood what is CRM, right? When you do any business to deal with the marketing, sales, service, all those things, companies use CRM. Salesforce is offering the applications based on the CRM. See the applications, marketing, and sales, and finally the service. All the information in the business related to marketing, related to sales, related to services, they store as part of the CRM application. And also, Salesforce is offering a platform. The applications, whatever Salesforce is offering, the client, they use those applications, and also they can modify these applications as per the business need. So the platform, whatever Salesforce is offering, technically they are naming that platform as force.com platform. Using this platform, we modify the standard applications provided by Salesforce. We can also create the brand new applications. So in the process of modifying the applications as per the client requirement, some of the requirements we can achieve with the configuration. So that means without writing any code, with the point and click, we can achieve some of the requirements. So whatever we achieve with the point and click, so that part we call as administration, right? Or admin, right? Salesforce admin. So this is the part. Some of the requirements we cannot achieve with the point and click tools provided by Salesforce. For that, we need to customize. So that we call as customization, right? We need to write some code and develop. So that part we call as development. Okay. And as part of the administration, so simply we have some tools, okay, at high level. So let's say to load the bulk data, there is a tool called data loader. To do some of the actions automatically, you see workflow rules, sending emails, and such kind of things automatically we can do by configuring, and reports. And there are many other topics. I want you to look into the syllabus to understand what are the all topics we discuss as part of the configuration part. Okay, as part of the development, so for sure on the Salesforce platform, as part of the development, we work on all the layers of the development. That when you see one application in internet, so any application when you see, there is a web page. When you click on some button or something, some business logic will be executed, and it will check the data in the database, or it will insert the data in the database. Right? We have the UI layer. We have the business logic. When you interact, the business logic will be executed. And after executing this logic, it will store the information into database. As part of the development, as a developer with Salesforce, we work on all these areas. For the UI layer, we use HTML. All these things from basics we discuss. So we use CSS, we use JavaScript. Okay, all these are basic level, not in depth. And also specific to Salesforce, we use one of the markup language called Visual Force. And there is a framework to develop the pages using Aura, which is introduced in 2015. And also we have LWC, which is introduced in 2019. So all these are the different technologies. We use these to develop the web pages. And also, as part of the business logic layer, we need to write the logic. Here we use one of the programming language called Apex. So Apex is one of the programming language. So many people are asking, do I need to know about Java or .NET or something else? So no need to know anything. From the basics, for the Apex language, whatever we need to work in the Salesforce, we discuss from there. Okay. So, and beyond that, for the database layer, to query the data from the database, to alter the data in the database, we use SOQL, SOSL, DML, all these commands. Going forward, I'll explain what is the full form and how exactly these things will work when we start with the development. And also, people are asking, do we discuss about integration? So in general, why we need to integrate? Same client, right? So let's say one of the client Airtel, right? Airtel company, to manage the CRM, they are using Salesforce, right? The short form of the Salesforce is SFDC. SFDC means salesforce.com. So when you search in Naukri or when you join in a company, people call SFDC team, SFDC developer, SFDC admin. When you search in Naukri, you see requirement for SFDC developer, something like that, right? So SFDC is a short form of the Salesforce. So let's say Airtel company, to manage the customer relationship management of their business, they are using Salesforce. So maybe to manage their ERP, so to maintain their inventory and all those things. Let's say they are using SAP. SAP is one of the technology. And maybe for their accounting, right, for their payments and accounting. So there is a platform called QuickBooks. So let's say they are using QuickBooks, one of the account. So all these are the different platform applications, but all belongs to same company, Airtel, right? So what they want to establish communication between Salesforce to SAP, Salesforce to QuickBooks, like that. So that time, so we deal with the integration. Okay, so integration also we discuss as part of this course. So at high level, so this is what we are going to discuss as part of this course. And administration we discuss up to 1 month, and development, so close to 2 months we discuss. So this is what we discuss at high level. Now before we proceed, to have more clarity how the project starts and where exactly in the project our role will be and how we work, to understand that. So let's say, so how the project starts and where exactly, so when you join in the company we work. So for that I'm explaining. Assume that Airtel is a company. Okay, this Airtel company, to manage their day-to-day CRM related information, they acquired many companies in the market, and Salesforce is one of the company, so which is very easy to sign up, and there is no initial investment, within few minutes they can register and use for 1 month as a free trial and understand how it works. Okay, so yesterday already we discussed. Same thing if they want to go with the Java. So for the UI layer, they need one team to work on UI. They need one team to work on Java for business logic. They need one team to work on the database. And to store all this information, they need a server, right? So at least huge number of resources, lot of investment on purchasing all those. And after 6 months, the basic application is ready. But Salesforce is very, very quick, right? So within few minutes, they can sign up and built-in user interface, built-in business logic, built-in database, built-in server space, everything will be provided as a ready-made. Okay, so let's say from this Airtel company, so Durga is one of the person responsible, Durga plus some team members. So let's say is having 5 team members. So all these guys are responsible to get the CRM application for Airtel. So first they talk to Salesforce sales team. So there are different editions with Salesforce. Okay, so and they look into all those editions and maybe they might be having the confusion. So which edition they need to go, all those things. So first they talk to Salesforce sales team, right? So even so I registered for one of the Salesforce account and I have the Salesforce account for my small company. So the process is, so we come here and see which is suitable as per the company, as per the business, how much they can invest. So if we have some questions, so just ping here and someone will call and we discuss. So based on the business need, we continue and so they suggest. So let's say this Airtel company, they have 1,000 employees. They have a requirement for access for 1,000 users. 1,000 employees of Airtel needs to use CRM. And which edition is suitable? So let's say, so all these 1,000 users, maybe some users needs to use marketing application. Some users needs access for sales application. Some users needs access for service application. So when they have a requirement like this and they talk to the sales team, they suggest which edition is suitable for them. Since they need everything, so let's say they are recommending to use the Salesforce Unlimited edition. So simply they can click on try for free and sign up and register so that they will be having the Salesforce account, right, within few minutes. So click on try for free and fill the form and submit and they can access the Salesforce. But here I'm not going to fill here. So for us, someone who want to experience how Salesforce looks as a developer, as an administrator, as an end user, as a tester. So if you want to choose the Salesforce technology and work with that, for us, okay, so the procedure is companies, they try for free and they fill the form and register. So once they register, Salesforce will create a production environment, right? So Airtel production will be created. In that production, so all these 3 applications will be there, right? Whatever the 3 applications. So one of this user, let's say Durga, this user registered and the free account production is created. This user can create a few more users, right? The primary user can create other users also, so that they have many users. All those users, they log into Salesforce with their corresponding username and password and start using these applications. So that's what they'll do. Like that, the project starts. So for us to experience this and how we register and log in, so there is a free account. So I strongly recommend you to open developer.salesforce.com and register here. So don't register maybe here, just how companies do, I'm explaining. From our side, no need to register here. If you register here, it is 30 days free trial. After 30 days, if you don't pay the payment, so you lose your account. Okay? We don't need any paid account. Okay. So the free account, for the free account, you need to open this and register. Okay. So in the notes already that URL is there. Maybe in this chart also I'm pinging. And there are other places where you register, but only register here. Even though I repeatedly explain like this, people are registering in other places and saying it is expiring. Okay, so you need to open developer.salesforce.com and click on sign up. So this is what you need to do to have the Salesforce account, and you can maintain your own account, and it will be lifetime unless you don't log in with the Salesforce for 6 months. So that's why, so whatever the email address you use, I strongly recommend you to use the email address which you check regularly. For the sake of some technology, people create an email for Salesforce, email for Java. They don't bother to check that and they lose everything. Okay, if you are very serious on this, changing your technology, so strongly fill this form and submit. Okay, so sign up. Okay, so here just I am filling this form and sign up for our class account. But from your side also, you need to create one account. So here, whatever I am going to sign up, I use this account on day to day in class, whatever I explain, to explain for all those things, I use this account. And also I'll provide access to this account. But this account is only for our reference purpose. So what I created in the class, what I did to see all those things, you can log in and see. But practice, you have to create your account similar to how I am going to do now, and practice in our own account. Okay, so that's the process. So now here, so I use some name, right? Just for every batch, I give some name to sign up. So let's say I think we are using Durga, one of the name. So let's use that. So I'm just giving this name, and maybe you can give your first name, last name, and here email address. Obviously, I'm giving my email address, and role. It can be anything. You can choose developer, right? But if you choose anything, it is fine. Okay, so let's say I'm choosing developer. So company name can be also anything. So whatever you feel, you can give that name as a company name. Okay. So let's say here, so this is the company name I'm giving, right? So, but technically it is like CTS, Wipro, or whatever the company you like. So you can give that. And the country, based on our country, you can choose the country. Okay, so here I am choosing India. So based on this, so Salesforce, they have hundreds of servers. Okay, I'm saying that we get space in one of the server. Salesforce is having hundreds of servers. So based on the country, what we choose for this country, which is the nearest location of the server. So that server, in that server, we get the space. Okay. So if you want to see the list of servers available with Salesforce, you need to go to trusted.salesforce.com, one of the website. So here, right, go to status.salesforce.com. And Salesforce services, you can choose this. So here you see all the servers available with the Salesforce. Okay. So in general, AP0, right? AP means Asia Pacific. Okay. So since India is in the Asia Pacific region, we get the space in one of this Asia specific region server. So maybe if you choose USA and create for US, right? North America region. Okay, so you get space in one of the server. So going forward, again, I'll come back and again try to explain. So how exactly we deal with these servers. Okay, so for now, just based on this, so that will be decided. I'm giving India. You can give US or whatever the country you want. So zip code, you can give anything, whatever you feel. Really, they are not going to validate. And here, while filling this, make sure to give the correct email address. Okay, that is one thing you should know, the correct email address. So here, don't think that you can give some email address which is not valid. Okay, so we need to check that email and set the password. Make sure to give the correct email. With the same email address, you can create any number of Salesforce accounts. Okay, so I have more than 100 accounts. Okay, so that is fine. Only the thing is the username should be unique. Okay, so here it can be in general the first name dot last name @company.com. So that's the standard. Okay, so here you can give whatever you like. Okay, so to make it very simple, so I'm giving like this. Okay, this username is available and I'm giving this. So once you fill this form and click on sign up, Salesforce will take 5 minutes. Okay, maybe wait until 5 minutes and after that check your email to have the email and set the password and login. So meanwhile, so it is a free account. I am saying it is lifetime. So how it is different when compared to the real production? Okay, so the thing is the free account, whatever we use, the developer edition account, developer edition, which is a free account, it is having some limitations. Only 5 MB data, right? The database data size, only 5 MB data can be stored. So that is one of the limit. So for a business, really 5 MB is not sufficient. Even small companies also needs more than 5 MB. At least 1 GB memory is needed. Okay, so 5 MB data, only that much space they give. That is one limitation. But for us as an individual to practice and to do, that is sufficient. Okay, and only 2 users with Salesforce license. So once we create the account, so the account is for a company. It's not like individual, right? So one of the company, we need to think that one of the company is registering with Salesforce to run their business. In that company, there can be multiple users, multiple employees. Each employee, they create a user. But in the free account, they provide opportunity to create only 2 users with the Salesforce license. That is one of the limitation. Okay, and also we cannot create a sandbox. Sandbox means in general, when there are some changes in the production, directly we should not work in the production to make the changes. Any technology, not only Salesforce, any technology, we don't directly work in production. We create a test environment. First, we work in test environment and do the development, do the testing, and everything is fine. then only we do the deployment to the production. Any technology, that's a process. Here also same thing. But here, the test environments we call technically as sandboxes. In the free account, it is not possible to create the sandboxes. Not possible to create the sandboxes, the test environments. So these are some limitations. But as an individual to experience how Salesforce environment looks and how it works, with these limitations we can work. Okay. So now I think by this time it might be sent one email. So I'm checking my email. I got one email. Sorry. So if you see, this is the email. Okay. So here you can click on verify account. So you will also get the email like this. And this is one of the unique URL for our organization, whatever we have registered, right? So this is the unique URL, and this is the username we give, and we are setting the password here. I'm giving the password as SFDC@123. SFDC@123, and some secret question, whatever you like, you can choose that question and answer. So just in a generic way, here I'm giving like this and change password. Then now, so going forward to log into this account, either you have to store this URL. So otherwise, so in general, whenever we sign up, whatever we get is a production, right? So it is logged in. So we are seeing like this. The big challenge for us, right? First time when we register and log in. When you log out again, next time from where we need to log in? So that's a big question for most of the people. Okay. So the thing is, either you can store this URL somewhere. Otherwise, in a generic way, to log into any production environment,
Hello, Srinivas. You are unable to hear us.
internet is disconnected for 2 minutes. Okay, so are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Okay. So I think what I am explaining. So I just set the password and logged in and logged out to show you how we can log in on day to day. Okay. So the URL to log in to the production or the developer edition account, whatever we registered on day to day, is login.salesforce.com. Anyway, I'm keeping that in the notes and also maybe pasting here in the chart. You can find that. The first step, so all of you, what you need to do, register here. Register in the below website. developer edition. I think I did not give the URL. The URL is developer.salesforce.com. Okay, use this URL to register. And the second step, again, people are trying to open this developer.salesforce.com and try to log in. You can log in, but again, one more click you need to do to open the Salesforce. So to avoid that, directly to log into our account, you should know about this login.salesforce.com, which is the URL for the production or the developer edition account. Right now, whatever we registered is a developer edition account login URL. Okay, so once you open, so what is the username we give? So maybe in my case, for the class account, so I gave the username as durga@b94.com. For you, maybe you might be giving your first name, last name @somecompany.com. So that username, and in my case, the password I gave as SFDC@123. Okay, so on day to day, to log into this account, so I open login.salesforce.com, enter this username, and enter this password and login. Okay, so first time when you try to log in, once you log out, it might also sometimes ask for the verification code. Okay, maybe here somehow it did not ask. In general, when you log in, how you see this login dot, you see like this, the look and feel like this. Okay, so now when you log into Salesforce, people talk about Lightning experience and the Salesforce Classic. So those are the user interface, the UI how we see. So if you see Gmail, long back, many years back, how the Gmail looks, now how it is looking, there is a difference with the UI, how we access that, right? In the same way, whatever you are seeing, this we call as Lightning experience. By default, we access the Salesforce application in the Lightning experience. So there is one more user interface on top right corner. So this icon we call as view profile icon, right? You can also set your image and your DP will be displayed here. So here we have an option, switch to classic. You can also click on switch to classic. So now whatever you see, this is the Salesforce, the old look and feel. Even in real production also, same thing will happen. By default, you see the Lightning experience. You can also switch to classic. So why they are calling as classic? It was there from long time, and later they introduced Lightning experience. So most of our training, we will be in the Lightning experience and discuss. Whenever there is a need, so that time we switch to Salesforce Classic and explain. Okay, that's what we do. So this is the procedure, how we register and have the account. Same procedure for the company. When they first register, so this is how they register. So once they register, who is the primary person? Right, Durga is one of the person register. From that company also, one of the user, they register. That user is the primary user. So this is for the company, right, to run their business, to run their CRM information, to capture their registering and having the account. So this user is one of the employee in that company, right? So this user need to provide access to other users in the company, right? Other employees in the company. So how the other users will be created? So the first user is the primary user. Once we log in, so here you see a gear icon, and you need to click on setup. So once you click on setup, you have to see setup like this. Left side, search for. First, I want to show you the company information and show the details, right? What is the company name we gave, and we have which kind of Salesforce edition. So how much data we can store, all those details you can see under company information. Here in the company name, I gave the company name as batch 94. Okay, but this is for the company name. Okay, in general, it can be Wipro, TCS, something, whatever the company. And this is the primary contact. And by default, the local, right? The location is United States, time zone, and data space. If you click on view here, if you see total data space, you see 5 MB, right? 20 MB for the file storage, some attachments and all those things. Okay, so go back. But that is not at all sufficient for real company, right? So this is for our developer, as a administrator, as a developer, to experience how Salesforce works. Okay, to misuse, they are only giving limited data space. And also, if you see the Salesforce organization edition is developer edition. And also, if you see, we got space in AP24 server. I told that Salesforce is having many servers. Since I choose India, for India, nearest location is Asia Pacific region. One of the country in Asia Pacific, these servers are there. So I think we got space in AP24, right? So I think this is the one. Okay, here we can see the health of the server. Green color means, okay, it is good. Green color means it is good. So if you see some other colors, maybe, so one is for the performance issue in the yellow color, and one is for the service disruption. Sometimes maybe occasionally, so in my experience, I saw 1 or 2 times Salesforce did not work for 20 minutes, half an hour, like that. Okay, so service disruption. So that is just to know that. And also this one is Salesforce organization ID, because in the same server, right? I'm saying we got space in AP24 in the server, in the same server. So maybe the other clients also will be there. If some other company they register, they might also get the space in the same server. Our company, the other companies, everyone is sharing the same server to store our data and access our data, right? So, but how Salesforce internally recognize which is the company, how uniquely they identify those companies? So by using this Salesforce organization ID. Okay, even though many companies are there in the same server, this is the unique identification for the Salesforce. Okay, and these are some licenses. With Salesforce license, we have 2 licenses. Already one user is consumed. One more user with Salesforce license we can create. But there are other licenses, Salesforce platform. But what is the difference between Salesforce license and Salesforce platform license? So when you give Salesforce license to a user, that user can access all the standard applications of Salesforce. Marketing, sales, service, all applications. But when you give Salesforce platform license, that user cannot access any standard application, right? Very, very limited access will be there. Those kind of differences are there. Anyway, based on the license, the cost, whatever they charge is different. Okay, we'll discuss those things going forward. So now let's see the users. At present, we registered as one of the user called Durga. And if you see, you are seeing that user Durga and the username. And there are other users also. So this, since it is a free account, the developer edition account whenever we register. As a default for the testing purpose, Salesforce generates these users. Maybe when you register, you also see like this. Maybe your name, whatever you give when you register, the other users with the same name you'll see creating here. Okay. So, but technically we created only one user. The other three users are system generated. Maybe to avoid the confusion, I don't want to show. So here we have option to filter. So just clicking on edit. For now, you don't need to bother about these options. Going forward, I'll explain in detail. Just here to have more clarity. So I'm doing this. Okay, so here to filter this, I'm filtering this based on my email address. Only show the users having this email address. Now we have only one user. So this user can create a few more users. So click on new, and his colleague first name, last name, maybe from Outlook or somewhere he can see and give email address, and as per the company, the username, first name, last name @company.com. So assign the license and create, so that this user also can log into the Salesforce. Okay, maybe let me show you so you'll understand. So maybe, so this username I'm giving as B94. That's the name of the first name I'm giving, and I'm giving this name. Okay, so maybe you can also give the meaningful name, just for my to remember and play with this. I'm giving first name as B94 and last name as access, and the license I'm giving Salesforce license, and profile. So profile deals with which kind of permissions that user can have. So in general, the primary user is a system admin. System admin profile users, they will be having the more access on the application. So, but for this user, I want to give only limited access, right? I'm choosing read only. That means this user can log in and only see the information. This user cannot modify anything. So like that, the primary user can create few more users, right? Maybe here email address. Here maybe I'm giving my email address and the username. So let's say I'm giving username as access@badge94.com. Okay, so like this I'm creating, and the role is not required here. Red bar means required. So I'm creating this user. Okay, so this user is created, and for this user also email will go. Right, in my case I give my email, but in company we give that colleague email. That user will get the email. So that user can set his own password. Right, click on verify account, and maybe for this also I'm giving SFDC @123, SFDC @123. So which city, this for testing I'm giving. It's like that. Now this user logged in, right? So now like this, each user, they log in and access, right? They'll be logging into the same account. They are all are connecting to same place. All will see same information, right? So all those are the employees, and they access all this information. So this is a procedure, how we register and how we create other users. Okay, just I'm trying to show you how it looks. So here in our process, what we are understanding, Airtel company, so Durga, and we created one user. Assume that the licenses are there. That user can create the further other users also, and everyone they log in and they access all these standard applications. So now standard applications, so looks like this, right? So to access the applications, you need to click on this app launcher. This part we call as app launcher, and here you see the list of applications. You can also click on view all, and these are the applications. So mainly marketing, sales, service. These are the main applications as part of the CRM, customer relationship management. So they can open these applications and see how it looks. So yesterday, if you remember, we discussed about the CRM process, right? Customer relationship management. Okay, so we just for our understanding. So let's say I'm opening the marketing application. So this navigations for now don't bother. Just for demo purpose, quickly I'm opening. But when we practically start, that time slowly I'll show you. I'll also provide documentation how exactly to follow and create. So for now here I am choosing marketing application. So as part of the CRM, you know, it starts with campaigns, advertisements, right? This Airtel company. So how the people in the market knows about the Airtel, what are the services they are providing? Let's say mobile services, internet services, mobile prepaid and postpaid, broadband, internet packages. So they do advertisements, TV advertisements, paper advertisements, different types of advertisements. So that is nothing but campaign. All that information they store in the campaign. Now all the marketing representatives, right? Marketing team of Airtel company, they log into Salesforce, they open marketing application, and they access this. Okay, so here the terminology wise, we should know about some of the terminology. To understand this terminology, so maybe here basic terminology. In general, with other technologies, so on day to day we know we say project. So here one project is like one app. Let's say marketing project, sales project, service project, right? So invoice management project. So here every project is like one app. We create as a app application, okay? Application or app, I call like that. And in general, you know about table, right? Table will have some data, many columns, many rows. In database perspective, right? Tables. When you open Excel, and what we see in the Excel is a table, which will be having columns and rows. So here, technically, the table we call as object. This is a Salesforce terminology. So maybe for first week, I'll keep on say table object. The table we call as object. So going forward, we call as object. Right? In Salesforce, object means nothing but the database table. Okay. In a table, we have columns. In Salesforce, instead of column, we call as field. Right? In the same way, we have rows in the table. In Salesforce, instead of rows, we call as records. Right? So this is what we call, and this is a terminology. So in database perspective, let's say there is a data in the table. If you want to bring that data and see that data, we use commands. So SQL, DML, these are some database commands to get the data or alter the data in the database. But in Salesforce, we have a concept called tab. This tab is nothing but linked to an object. Right? So just you click on that tab, it will be linked to an object. It will make query to database of that object and bring the data and show on the Salesforce UI. Really, from our side, no need to write any command. Okay, so this is the basic terminology. Okay, so maybe to understand for you, right? So just I'm opening one sheet. just to show you a table and how it looks in database perspective. So how the table looks and all those things. So we open. So here all these are the columns, right? So let's say here, for our just understanding. So let's say this table name. So let's say it is a database, right? Assume that it is a database. In this database, so here each sheet is one table. Let's say they want to store the person information. Person is the table. The person first name is one column, and last name is one column, right? And maybe email and phone, all those are the different columns, right? And here we give the some of the names and store. So let's say some email. So like that we give some data, right? So here one more table, right? So let's say this one, country is one of the table. Country name, city, all those things, columns you can store. Keep on. In a database, there can be multiple tables with the data, right? So in Salesforce, each table, right here in Excel, each sheet is like one object in Salesforce. So when you click on this tab, right, this is like a tab. When you click on this, it is showing all the data present in the person table, right? So here maybe these things we call as columns, right? First name, last name, email, all these are the column names. In Salesforce, we call these as fields. Okay, here this is a row. In Salesforce, we call these as records. Okay, so that's the just a terminology. Okay, so now let's go back to the Salesforce. So wherever we are dealing. So now here, I think here we are dealing. So when you log in here, we are dealing with the marketing application. Here, this is the name of the application, and all these are the tabs, right? So this is one application, and the application in Salesforce is a collection of tabs. So when the marketing representatives, when they choose this application, frequently they deal with these tables. Okay, here whatever you are seeing, these we call as tabs. If you see in the basic terminology, tab is linked to an object. So here campaigns is one of the tab. When you click on this campaigns tab, what will happen? It will connect to the campaign object, right? Object means table, and bring the data and show here, right? So now all these are the field names, right? Columns, and this technically we call as field names. Type is a field name, status is a field name, start date is a field name. And also, instead of showing all the data which is present in the database, so we have some views. We call these as list views. And the recently viewed is one of the standard list view from Salesforce. And if you see, there are other standard list views, right? So this tab is by default provided by Salesforce, and by default Salesforce is providing these list views. So let me choose this list view. So when you choose this one, so if you see, you are seeing the data. But I think few minutes back only we registered for this account. How the data is there? For testing purpose in the developer edition account, by default Salesforce, they load data and give. So that's why when you open any one of this tab and open that, you'll see some data available. This is the test data provided by Salesforce. If you don't want, you can delete. If you want, you can create new data also. Okay, so this is the process. Okay, so if you see, all these are the, technically we call this one as a table, but in Salesforce we call this one as an object. This entire thing is an object in that, right? Campaign name is one of the field, start date is one field, and 1, 2, 3, 4, all these are the records, right? So like that. So we should know the terminology. So they log in and they access this information. And so how they do, they can create the new record, right? Record means row, and they can also modify and all those things they'll do. And because at present I logged in as one of the user called read-only user. If you remember, recently we created read-only user. Read-only user can only see the information. So that's why here it is not showing any information to edit. Right? So this user can only see the information and understand how it works and all those things. Okay. So again, if you log in back with the main user, because within the same browser you cannot log in with multiple users, to the same Salesforce account with the user who is there in the same Salesforce account, if you log in, it will override the previous user login with the new user. Okay. So again, if you want to log in as a primary user, the admin user, which we created, so this user, again log out and again you login.salesforce.com and enter this username and password and enter this password and login. So this is a procedure to login. Okay. So first time, in few times when initial phase when you log in, it also asks for the mobile number. You can also give your mobile number. It's easy to deal with the mobile number. The reason is, so all of you, you know about this, whatever I registered, that URL, you also know username, you also know password, but still you cannot log in. So what will happen when we try to log into Salesforce from a new browser, right? So when you log in, it will hold that information in the browser cache. Even in my system also, if I open some other browser and try to log in, it will ask verification code, which is extra along with the username and password. It asks you to enter verification code. By default, verification code will go to your email address. If you register your mobile number, instead of email, it will send to mobile. Okay, so if it is my personal account, so we choose the country code and give mobile number. That is easy. But this is not my personal account. This is for class account. So I don't want to register. I want to get that verification code to the email, not for the mobile number. So I can say I don't want to register, or you can say maybe remind me later. Yeah, I don't want to register. In your case, maybe you can give your mobile number so that it is easier for you. Okay. So this is a procedure. So now it's like we have a production, and so we need to explore all the applications. But directly, we should not work in the production. Okay. So let's say they are exploring all these applications. I think so far they are good with this, but they have many enhancement on top of these standard applications. So because the standard applications are not exactly fit for the company purpose. Let's say Airtel is into telecom industry. So let's say one of the company, Philips Healthcare, that is healthcare industry. So let's say one of the Bank of America, they are also using Salesforce. They are into banking industry. So different industries, their business is different. So exactly these applications won't work. Right? These are like a ready-made. They need to alter this as per their business, whatever they want. So that is the reason we need to work. So because when they sign up, that's not the ending. So they have ready-made application, but they need some many alterations, many things. They have enhancements on top of this, and then only this application will fit for their business. For that, we need to work. So since we don't have time, tomorrow, how we work when we join in the project. So where exactly we work, we should not work in production. There is a concept called sandbox. How those will be created. So I'm saying that in the developer edition, it is not possible. What I'll do, I'll open my one of the paid account. From there, I'll show you how we create the sandboxes and log into sandbox and see to understand how exactly the project looks. So later, slowly, we start with the practical things. Okay, so for first 3 sessions, I don't have the scope to do many things as practical. But after 3 demo sessions, we take a project and configure everything. Right, mostly everything will be practical and proceed. So today, before ending, so any questions, anyone? So far, whatever we discussed, any questions?
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, you can ask your question.
You told that we have primary user. We have to log in like a primary user. Login.salesforce.com. There is some bit confusion that how to multiple users how to log in.
So each user will be having a different username, right? So this is one user. In general, practically, when you join in a company, for you, they create one user. You have your username and password. Your colleague, some other employee, will be having a different username and password. That user will log in with that account, right?
Okay.
So there is no confusion. So you also open this, your colleague also open this, but your colleague is having different username and password. You are having different username and password. You will log into your account. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question?
And I have one question. And as an admin, we can have the rights for users. We can give the code right, like create, delete, and create records. We can give the permissions based on. We can set permissions for each user, right?
Yes, correct. You can do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So those things will come in the later stage. Right? So we are in the early stage of understanding. But obviously, when there are 1,000 users, users should have different access. Let's say marketing team, they should have different permissions. Sales team, they need to have different permission. Support team, they need to have different permission. So we control. So the CRUD and the data access, everything we control. We have a concept called security. As part of that, we do that. So when we start with the topic, I'll explain. Okay. In the course contents, you can see for that we have topics. Okay.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
other questions?
Sir, like if in the production organization, like for login.salesforce, if you are registering for that unlimited one edition, so it is like for sales cloud, marketing cloud, and service cloud, we need to take separate, or everything is present in the production organization.
Yeah. So if it is unlimited, so when you sign up for the unlimited edition, everything will be available. Okay.
Okay, it is
But
not a different different edition or for sales cloud, service cloud. Like we should not opt for any different clouds, or every cloud is present in the production.
yeah. So when you go with unlimited, so almost all the clouds in the sense, all the applications, marketing and sales and service they can access. But when you go with enterprise and also when you go with enterprise also, if you say you want only sales cloud, so based on how you bargain, they decide the final price. Maybe here they are showing $150. Let's say I want sales cloud, I don't want service. They'll reduce and they'll give for cheaper price by providing only sales application like that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'll also show you one of the production and sandboxes and how it looks. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone? Okay. So yeah.
What is sandbox?
Sandbox is a test environment. So if you see when the client register, they get a account and all users they log in and use that application. So if some enhancements are there on top of this application, they have some new features developed on top of this. Directly we don't work in production, right? Production, the live transactions, the real users work. But so when there are enhancements, so developers, admins, they'll configure and try to achieve the requirement. Since we should not directly work in production, and if you do like that, the real end users will suffer. To avoid that, we create the sandbox. Sandbox is a test environment where we do development, where we do testing, such kind of environment. Okay. So I'll show you how it will be. So it will be in a different server location. Right, production is in a different server location. Sandbox is in a different server location. First, we work in sandbox, the test environment. Then only we deploy to production. But there is a cycle. We do development, testing, and again testing also, QA testing, UAT testing. Tomorrow I'll explain that process. So what companies follow. Okay. So any other questions? Anyone? Okay. So I think after this session, I'm sending, right, maybe not immediately. So by tomorrow afternoon, today afternoon also, I sent one email about the notes, what I am typing here and the recording. Some of you, if you are not getting, maybe sometimes my email will go to your spam folder. Check your spam folder if you don't get. So ping me in my WhatsApp number. So I'll try to provide that. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, someone is asking why can't we delete the objects? Yeah, so when you say object, so there are standard objects. So the objects, whatever Salesforce provide, we call those as standard objects. Okay. So whatever we create, those we call as custom objects. Standard objects as part of the Salesforce product, right? Marketing and the sales and service they provide, we cannot delete, right? But if you create a custom object as per the client requirement, that can be deleted. So anyway, when we proceed, we'll understand all those kind of things. Okay. I will continue tomorrow. Thank you.